Is the battle between Kakashi and Obito the greatest fight in the entire Naruto anime series? I think so. This episode was pretty freaking incredible, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of blown away by it. I mean, if I could have this episode delivered to my house every day, I would. If I could directly inject it into my veins, I probably would try. This was sex in anime form. This was complete euphoric, badass anime action. And if you're a fan of the Naruto manga or the Naruto anime and Naruto Shippuden series, then you must watch this. This is mandatory viewing. It was so amazing, with some incredible animation and art direction and sound design. Hiroyuki Yamashita was on top of this episode, and you know when the Yamashita's on board, he's gonna kick some major ass. The ninja nonsense in this week's episode definitely comes from the battle between Kakashi and Obito, which did not disappoint in any sense of the words. And what I really found surprising about this, and this is something that I have talked about before, which is a lot of the times in the Naruto intros, they will show a scene from a fight or something that's like a really big story moment, and they'll animate it really well. It'll look like movie quality animation. And then when they finally get to that moment in the anime series, it looks like shit. It looks like garbage. But in this week's episode, that trend ends, because the battle between Kakashi and Obito is even better than the way it is portrayed in the intro. The amount of badass choreography and impactful hits from it is enough to get any action fan excited. And just, it kept going and giving, and there were so many amazing standout moments. When Kakashi and Obito start to fight for real, it is awesome. I love how they do these quick cuts to when they were children and when they were training, and I love the extreme juxtaposition between the two, because when they're younger, you see that they're just training, there's no killing intent, and when they cut to them as adults, you can see they're trying to straight up murder each other, and the music choice they use is really great, because it makes the battle seem all the more tragic. Kakashi's not trying to be the hero. He's not trying to save the damsel in distress. He's trying to stop his friend who has gone beyond the point of no return. And you feel it in every single punch, every single kick, every single cut. This week's battle has a lot of standout scenes. I can't even cover them all, and I actually had to go back and rewatch some of the scenes just to see how intricate they really were, especially with the choreography this week. But I especially love a lot of the scenes, like when Kakashi was using the kunai and kicked it down across Obito's face. I love when Obito used his massive fireball, and then Kakashi blocked it, and then Obito came around and kicked him up against the wall. And that's just not even counting all of the ridiculous moments where they're constantly just running at each other, punching, kicking, amazing choreography going in very fast, cutting back to them when they're kids and when they're kicking ass. It is just a visual feast. If you're into action anime, this is mandatory viewing. Check it out. The battle suddenly ends when Kakashi uses his Raikiri ability and goes right through Obito, and this time, it's not a genjutsu, and it looks like he's almost about to die until he's suddenly transported back to the battlefield. And this is where another one of the standout scenes happens, where Obito is starting to be taken over by Black Zetsu and all the black chakra rods. And it looks really painful and disturbing, and I love the one scene where he's screaming up into the sky, and they use these very thick black lines, which give it a very nice hand-drawn look. And it just makes everything seem so otherworldly and different from anything that we've seen from the series. It actually kind of reminds me of that one scene during the Naruto and Pain fight, the very famous Pain Didactyl scene, which you either love, you either hate. I love it because it just shows that they're so powerful that they're literally distorting what the world can look like with their power, and I just think that's really insane. I also love the fact that Madara is just sort of completely going with the stride over the fact that Obito is about to become the Jinchuriki of the Ten Tails, and suddenly he starts to absorb all of it into his body, and then suddenly emerges as the brand new Jinchuriki of the Ten Tails, and he looks oh so disturbing. And I love that he's clenching onto the remains of it, and he's just going to rip them away. And it is kind of a, cop-out that in the intro of the show, they've already shown what Obito as the Jinchuriki is going to look like, so it has been somewhat spoiled for a lot of people. But I can't wait to see this guy in action, but you're not going to see it next week, because there's actually going to be a Mecha Naruto special next week, which is going to be tying into the brand new Naruto Shippuden video game on Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3. Otherwise, what's the rundown on this week's episode of Naruto Shippuden? Best episode of the series. That could be the end of the review. Right there. That's really all I have to say. I shouldn't have to say why this episode's good. It had amazing production value. It had a lot of great emotional moments. Obito turning into the Jinchuriki, the Ten Tails, was handled really well, especially with the weird sort of pseudo-rapey flashback scene with Rin, Kakashi, and Minato. Everything just worked this week, and everything just gelled. The music choices were one of my favorite things, because they could have chosen just any sort of generic action music for the fight between Kakashi and Obito, but the fact that they went with something sad just made that battle all the more impactful, and one that I'm going to remember for a long time. I always really loved the battle between Sasuke and Killer Bee, and it's still one of my absolute favorite episodes of the series. But this one right here completely blew me away in a lot of different ways. And the fact that it did feature my favorite character, Kakashi, is something that I really appreciate, and I love the fact that he's had a lot of standout action scenes from the entire series. There was the one with Hidan and Kakuzu that I loved, and this one completely topped that on almost every single level. And what I think I loved most about this fight is that it was a straight-up fist fight. It was nothing too crazy. There weren't giant monsters being summoned or giant toads or anything. I mean, they're in this episode. I mean, if you like that stuff, you're going to get a lot of kaiju goodness. But I loved that they focused on just having a good hand-to-hand fight with a few techniques thrown in. It really gave it that classic Naruto feel, and it definitely made it feel more like a ninja show, which that's what Naruto is all about anyway. So I loved this episode. Animation, artwork, music, voice acting, everything worked. It was awesome. Check it out. If you're following the series, you must see this episode. It is absolutely mandatory viewing. And remember, if you guys want to see my reaction to this week's episode, there will be a link to that in the description box below and at the very end of the video. If you guys want to see me freaking out watching it, go ahead. Otherwise, that's it. I'm giving this one a 5 out of 5. To me, it was perfect. I loved it. Can't get enough of it. Can't wait to watch it again tonight. So check it out, guys. Badass episode. Thank you guys for watching my review today. Before you leave, make sure and hit that like button so you can give this video a thumbs up. And make sure to tell me what you thought about this week's episode of Naruto Shippuden. What did you think of the action this week? And what do you want to hope to see from the Mecha Naruto special? And make sure to subscribe to our channel if you have not already. That way you can see all of our latest anime and manga reviews. And you can also follow us on Facebook and on Twitter. I'll put links for all that stuff in the description box below.
Do you like Amazon.com? I know I do. Corey and I now have an Amazon link in our video description box below. And if you go to it and buy anything through Amazon.com, it will support our channel. So bookmark that link, make it happen, and support our channel without having to do a damn thing.
Another great way you guys can help support our channel is by donating directly through our PayPal link in the description box below. We recommend $2 a month, although this is completely optional. But the best way to go about this is by sneaking into your mom's room and taking $2. This way, she won't even notice. And we won't have to shake you up for all of your lunch money. So guys, that concludes this review today. Super Kami Guru 9000. Out.